What's up guys, the Codeholic is here and welcome to the part 8 of building an MVC framework using PHP. In this part we're going to take out the core and make it as a separate package installable using Composer. We're going to also create a second project and install the core right there, and when we implement the application events, and we're going to do this in this video also, we can easily install the updated package on another installation. Before I started working on recording the MVC framework, I actually prepared the code. So I prepared the framework and that's on my GitHub. So this is the project repository. I have done a lot of commits, 50 commits already made. However, when I was working on the project while I was recording, I didn't use Git and I just followed. So the video basically which you are watching at the moment and the framework what we built in this video might be slightly different, very minor things different from the code which is available on my GitHub. So the idea and 95% is identical, but for example in the controllers on the project which is on my GitHub, which I prepared, is about controller and site controller, and inside the site controller we have the login and registration. However, in our project we have auth controller and site controller, and we have this in the login and register in the auth controller. So I hope this is not a problem for you. The core functionality is almost the same, not even changes inside the file names or anything. I just wanted to make this project. I generally don't like looking on my second screen and writing code, just copying and pasting the code and just writing the code while I'm watching. So every time I do some project, I might do it slightly differently than the previous times. So I don't know my code by heart. I know my code by idea, what it should be, what should be the final result. Okay. And why I'm talking about this. So right now I'm going to switch to the framework which is on my GitHub. Okay, so I just want to open this and continue on this because this has Git history, and I was making pretty good commit messages to have a rich history of commit messages, right? So I want to use this, and if you see right now slight changes in the source code, don't be scared about this. 95% is the identical. The core is almost the same, maybe 99% is the same, maybe just minor changes in the variable names or method names, but you will get the full idea. Okay, so here is the project, the second project, the project which is on my GitHub. And we have about controller, site controller, and everything the same. And now I just want to take out the core and make it installable. Okay, let's do this. So first of all, I have to create a repository on my GitHub, and I'm going to call it tc PHP MVC core. Okay, let's call it like this. The Codeholic PHP MVC core. Okay, let it be like this. I'm going to hit the enter. I don't want to write the description and anything else. Here I have it. So I'm going to copy the URL and go to the core folder. So let's open the terminal, and I'm going to go to the core folder, cd core. Okay, and I'm going to run git init. Okay, that should become the git repository. Okay, git status, and here I have all the files and folders in the core which I'm going to commit right now. Okay, git add, I'm going to add everything, git status once again, and here are all the classes, and I'm going to just commit git commit -m initial commit. Okay, git remote add origin, paste the GitHub link, hit the enter, git push origin master. Let's have a look on the GitHub, refresh it. I think it's pushed. Why I don't see? Here I have it. Okay, So this is the one step to do. Second is to register now our package in the Packagist. Okay, let's open the Packagist, packagist.org. I think it's .org. Here we have it. So I have to sign in with my username and password. I think my username is this. So let's just try if I can log in. Here I have it. And I'm going to submit now the package. And that should be the following GitHub link. Just we need to have a composer JSON right here because this should be installable. Okay. So now I'm going to open the create new file in the core. I'm going to call it composer.json or I'm going to run composer init. And the vendor name will be just TC, and the package name will be PHP/MVC/core, not slash but dash. So PHP MVC core TC PHP. Okay, that looks good. Hit the enter. Everything else should be by default. That is basically library, project, meta, package, and composer plugin. That is more like a library, but I'm going to leave this empty, so it's not mandatory to specify this. I don't want any dependencies. Okay. Would you like the vendor directory? Okay, let's add the vendor there. And let's have a look now in the composer JSON. Okay, here I have it. And inside the gitignore, we have this vendor. Okay, now I have to comment this, and I'm going to comment now using the PHP Storm. So let's just comment one by one. Create composer.json. Let's just comment this. And the second comment will be, let's just tick this, create git ignore. Okay, so let's just push this. And now I'm going to also specify the tag. Okay, now I have 3 comments. Let's go to the tags and I'm going to create new release. And that should be the release I'm going to install using Composer. And I'm going to specify this because this is not a stable. I'm going to specify 0, 0, 1 or 0, 1, 0 or something like this. Or because we're starting, maybe we can specify 0, 1, 1. Okay, and I'm going to call it initial release. It should be made from the master branch. Hit the enter. And this was created. Now I'm going to copy this, go to the Packagist and paste right here, hit the check. So this will take a couple of seconds and it tells me that the vendor name TC was already claimed by someone else on Packagist.org. You may ask them to add your package. Okay, so TC is already used. So I want to update my composer JSON into the Codeholic. So let's just comment this quickly. Change vendor name in composer JSON. Just push this immediately. And we need to create one more release. So because we just pushed, go to the release, draft new release, and that should be version 1.0.1. Change vendor name, hit the enter. So here I have 2 releases. Okay, let's go to the Packagist and hit the check once again. The package name found for your repository, the Codeholic PHP MVC core. Press submit to confirm. I'm going to hit the submit. Okay, this looks good. So now it needs a couple of time. It will just fetch the tags right here, and then we will be able to just install with the specific tag. And so let's just go to the project. Let's go. Actually, we have to change also the namespace. Okay, so because this is the part of the vendor, now the vendor name is the Codeholic. Okay, and we just need to change the autoloading, and every class should be part of every class should have a namespace, global namespace, the code-holic. Let's have a look. So we have two versions right here. We have also dev master version, but we need to change the namespace. And let me clearly tell you why we need to change the namespace. Because if someone, now we have these classes under core namespace. So let's give it a up core, middleware up core, for example. So if we are about to install this in a project, and inside the project there already exists up core, then we're going to have a problem. So we just need to change this. So how I'm going to do this? So I'm going to move this core right now in the vendor. No, let me think. Okay, so I'm going to search now up core in the whole project. So let's search for up core and change this up core into the code-holic. This is the vendor name, and then the package name will be PHP MVC, for example. Okay, the code-holic PHP MVC, and every class which is inside the up core now will be under the code-holic PHP MVC, and it will be PHP, the controller, the application, basically everything will be under the code-holic PHP MVC. And I'm going to replace this globally, okay, in the whole project, and we're going to have a couple of quite big amount of references, the usages, right? So this is in the migrations, in every file, basically there is used up core, and I have to change this into the code-holic PHP MVC. I'm repeating this 1,000 times, but yeah. So let's just replace all. Okay. So this happened. Now I'm gonna commit my core, and first of all I have to adjust the autoload also. So autoload, why it doesn't autocomplete? Okay, let me just quickly copy and paste this autoload from the main composer JSON. That should be autoload PSR4. The namespace will be the code-holic PHP MVC. Okay, so this is the namespace, and I'm going to copy commit now everything under the core and just push this. Okay, change namespace into the code-holic \PHP MVC. Okay, let's just commit, hit the commit and push this, and we have to create new release now. So let's just go to the releases, draft new release, version 1.0.2, change namespace, hit the enter. But here's the thing, whenever we release a new version, the Packagist should pick this up automatically. Okay, so if I just refresh it, it doesn't see that there's a new version. So I have to click this update button, which fetches this version 1.0.2. And here is the problem. So the namespace must end with a namespace separator, should be the oops, my mistake. That was my mistake. So we need \/ right here. We have to commit this again, fix bug in composer JSON autoload. So push this. We have to create new release, version 1.0.3. Actually, we can also install this as a dev version. We can also do this like if you don't want to release a version on every minor change, we can install this as a dev. Okay, so let's try actually this. So I'm gonna go to the Packagist and just update this. So hit the update. Let's have a look. It was actually Was it updated? 1.0.1, but we have 1.0.2 as well. Okay, it could not fetch, but let's just try to install the dev master version. So I'm going to open the terminal and I'm just going to run composer require the code.holik. Oops, actually I had already copied that, and I'm going to specify dev master version, so which is the development version from the master branch. So I'm going to hit the enter. It will take a couple of seconds, maybe a minute, until it reads this and installs this. So I'm going to pause the recording and get back until this is done. So here we have an error. We are actually installing this from the core, and this is wrong. So we are installing the same package inside it. So that's wrong. We need to go one directory back and install it right here. So let's just wait. So here it already started working. Maybe we don't even need to wait. And here we have it. So it's actually installed. And if we now open vendor, let's scroll down, find the vendor, the code.holik, PHP MVC core, and here we have all the classes we created. Okay, and the namespace is still up core, and I think this happens because it actually installed another version. So if we just open now composer lock and just debug this, so, and let's just copy the reference. This is the commit message. Let's go to the browser, go to the commits on that core, and just search for the first couple of characters. This is change vendor name in composer JSON. We need to release a new version. So let's go to the tags, releases, and draft a new release. Version 1.0.3, change namespace, hit the enter, and right here we should see the update. So hit the update button. Here we have it. So 1.0.3. Now I can install this using the specific version. So let's install the version which is above version 1.0.3. Hit the enter. This will start thinking and install the corresponding version. Couldn't find package the code.holik PHP MVC core in a version 1.0.3. Actually, the Packagist has some cache, and it needs some time until it understands that this is available. So I'm gonna wait a couple of minutes and just keep trying this, and as soon as this is installed, okay, I'm gonna pause the recording and I'm gonna run this, and as soon as this is done, I'm gonna start recording again. So here it is. After several minutes of trying, the Packagist cleared the cache, and now the latest version is 1.0.3. And if we just open right now one of the classes from the code.holik PHP MVC core package, the namespace is this. So if we did everything correctly, we should see the application running. So we can delete this core now from here. We don't need this. Actually, let's have it for a few more minutes and then we can delete. And here's the problem. So the router, multiple definitions. Yeah, this is not a problem. This is the PHP Storm sees that the router exists 2 times, one from core folder, another from the vendor folder. So let's just refresh in the browser, and I hope everything works fine. And you will be surprised, but it's working just like, yeah, I expected that it would work, but without any errors. Okay, so cool. So we can now delete this core, and if we just want to make some changes in the core, I'm going to delete this right now. So okay, what's wrong? The terminal is occupying it, so let's just delete the core. Okay, I cannot delete, so rm-rf core. Hit the enter, it was deleted. Here we have it. So refresh again, everything works fine. And however, if I want to make some changes in the core, for example, create new field, select field, for example. So let's go to the vendor, the Codeholic, PHP MVC, right here, if we want to make some updates and adjustments and so on. So we have to have these using Git folder. So I'm going to go to the vendor, the Codeholic, PHP MVC ls-la, and do we have Git right here? Yes, we have Git right here. Okay, so if you don't simply have Git, we need to install the package composer require -- prefer -source, and this will install the project, the MVC core, using the Git folder. And now if I just make some changes right here in this folder, I can commit and push, then I can release a new version right here, and it will work like a charm. Okay, now here I'm going to commit and push all the changes inside the classes, because we just renamed the namespaces and we just deleted the whole core folder. So I'm gonna do step by step, and first let's just commit the deleting of core folder. So core folder deleted, or delete core folder. Okay, so the next is to maybe commit the composer JSON, because in the dependencies we're going to have the Codeholic PHP MVC core. Okay, and maybe we can do this all of the things at the same time. Install core using composer and change namespace usages. Okay, so I just commit and push this. Let's go to the GitHub, and I want to find the repositories where it is, PHP MVC Framework. We don't see core anymore inside the composer JSON. We see this inside the require PHP MVC core. Okay, using this way, if we just update the MVC core, we just run composer update or composer require for that package, and it will work like a charm. Okay, now I'm going to do a simulation of two projects very quickly. So I'm going to clone this repository second time in my project, and let me just so here I have the second project, which is the clone version of this one. So I'm going to first of all run composer install, okay, which will install the dependencies. The next thing is to just copy and paste this env and just call it env, and in the DB name I'm gonna call it first project with MVC, or PHP MVC project. Okay, so this is the database, and we need to create the database, obviously. So let's go to the PHP my admin. I'm going to create the new database. Here we have it. Then I'm going to run php migrations.php, and there are no migrations to apply. Why there are no migrations? If we just go to the migrations, there are two migrations actually. And what happens? So here we have it. So migrations we are actually applied, refresh, and we have in this PHP MVC project, we have the migrations and users tables, which is awesome. And I'm going to start this right now in on a new port, PHP-S localhost port 8082, and I'm going to open this right now, and here we have it. Okay, so now let's say that I want to update the core, and actually I'm going to use the boot switch or boot swatch. I just want to apply the new theme, so let's just take, I don't know, any of those. So I just want to take this. Where's the link? Where is the link? Okay, this is the Bootstrap CSS. I just want to take the min CSS, for example. Let's open this. I'm gonna take out this and paste in the project, in the framework 2, public, paste right here, maybe create separate folder CSS and paste right there. Then let's go to the layouts main PHP, and I'm gonna include this right here. Link rel is style sheet, and in the href I'm gonna specify css/css/ bootstrap min CSS. Okay, and I think we don't need this anymore. Let's have a look in the browser right here, and here is our second project. Okay, we have the login, which looks the same. Maybe we want Bootstrap as well. I'm not sure about this. I haven't used that Bootstrap for a very long time. Okay, I don't know. So the forms look like the same. Maybe we can use something else, materia, I don't know. So this one, okay, let's just try this one. Bootstrap CSS or min CSS, just take, paste right here. So I'm going to delete the min CSS, and let's just import this Bootstrap CSS. Let's have a look. And I don't see any differences on the login because the login has different layout. My mistake. So we paste this right here as well, and here we have this different layout. And actually now I'm going to open this previous project, the original one, and in the original project, which is running actually on port, I think on port 8081. So right here, let's just change this into 8081, and I want to add a few more things. For example, application events. Okay, so in the vendor, the Codeholic MVC, let's open the application, and the application can trigger a couple of events. For example, before the action is just executed, before the request is made, and things like this. So I'm going to do one more thing, and then we can listen to the application events. So for example, how we're going to listen the events. Okay, let's first create a couple of constants for events. So for example, const event before request. Let's make it very simple, and let's just do event before request. That will be before request, and create after request. Okay, that will be after request event. Okay, then I'm going to create an internal private or protected array of event listeners. Okay, and then I'm going to add a method on the application on which accepts the event name and accepts the callback. Okay, and we register this inside the event listeners for the given event name, I'm just gonna push the following callback. Okay, and now if we just open index.php, right here when I have the instance of the application, I can listen to some events. For example, on application event before request, I'm going to specify the function, and I'm just going to write echo before request. So this is very useful. The events basically are very useful because if you just want to log every request in the database, you can maybe do this using events. If you just want to like change the user activity, if the user is authorized on every request, you just change the when was the user's latest activity date and so on. So this is very important. So we do this. However, so far we won't see any output because this function needs to be executed from somewhere. Okay, so let's go to the application class, and before the resolve is called right here, I'm going to call the method this trigger event, and I'm going to specify a self event before request. Okay, and this trigger event of course doesn't exist. We have to create this public function trigger event name. So we get the callbacks. This will be this event listeners for the given event name. If it doesn't exist, we take the empty array, then we iterate over the callbacks and just call user function on the callback. Okay, this is how we're going to actually do this. And finally, we should see the output. Refresh the page, and here we see this before request. So if we add multiple event listeners on application 2 times before request and before request 2, we will see this 2 times because every callback is executed. But the main thing is right here that we change the application. Okay, and now I want to commit and push and release new version so that in my second project, which has the different layout right here, I should be able to add an event listeners to the application. Okay, so let's do this. Let's go to the terminal right here and git branch. So git branch is basically detached. So we are on a specific version which is because we installed. So we just want to check out to the master branch. Okay, and we cannot actually check out because we have made some changes. Okay, so we can run git stash, then git status, everything is clean. Now we can check out to master, and we can run git stash pop. Okay, so now if we just run git status, we have the application PHP modified. Okay, and I'm going to go to the settings of PHP Storm, go to the version control, and right here let's just add the project. Okay, in this case PHP Storm will show me all the differences. So the project is Git, and it is located in the vendor the Codeholic PHP MVC core folder. Okay, this is the Git project. Hit OK and scroll down below, and I have a couple of changes right here. So PHP Storm can understand what is changed right now, and I can just commit that specific changes from the MVC core, PHP MVC core package, and let's just call it add events on application. Okay, let's commit, push this. Let's go to the GitHub, go to the tags, and so we have to merge. So let's just merge. We have a couple of changes, so we have to merge it. It was merged and probably pushed. Yep, it's successfully pushed. Okay, perfect. Let's now go to the core and release a new version. Okay, this one, go to the tags, go to the releases, draft new release, version 1.0.4, and this will be add events on application. Hit the enter. We need to go to the Packagist, and here we automatically see the new version 1.0.4, which is awesome. And now let's try to install. I think it will need some time, but let's open this PHP Framework 2, which has this different Bootstrap layout. Let's just run composer require the codeholic /PHP MVC core version 1.0.4. So this will install the specific version, but we can specify that this version or later. So I'm going to hit the enter. Probably it won't find, so let's just wait a couple of seconds. No, it can't find, so I'm going to pause the recording, and as soon as this is installed, I'm going to get back to you. So here Composer installed the latest version 1.0.4, and we can make sure that there exists the events. So let's go to the vendor, the codeholic, PHP MVC core, open the application, scroll down, and here we see this new code. So now what I can do, so let's go first in the browser and refresh, and we don't see any output. Now let's go to the index.php, which is the part of the project, not part of the core, and I'm going to add an event listener on the application. Okay, on application, I'm gonna call on, that will be application event before request or after request. Actually, we are only triggering the before request, but it doesn't matter. So echo before request from second installation. So let's just refresh, and here we see this before request from second installation. So this is the second project, and this is the first project where we see the different output. And we have our core successfully installed on both versions, and if we just want to make some changes and update on all of them, we have to do this using Composer, which is the best practice, and you should follow the best practices. I want to again highlight that the framework is the only purpose of this framework is pure educational, to give you some knowledge. It's not recommended to use that framework on any of your production websites. Maybe on your side projects, but even if you do this, make sure that you don't have any sensitive data on your side projects. The framework is done in several hours, so it's not ready for production, and you should not do this. Okay, but at least it gives us some idea how that big frameworks work behind. So I hope you enjoy this framework and just make building this framework. So even though that we cannot use, it cannot compete to any other frameworks, for me it was fun, and I hope you enjoyed as well. What we can do also is that we can create virtual hosts and make sure that the framework is working, but it will work. We just need to make a proper virtual host, and you can just find out a lot of videos how to make virtual hosts using XAMPP installation. I also have a separate videos on how you can make a virtual host on XAMPP installation. It's maybe not on a plain PHP project, it's maybe on another framework, E2 framework maybe, but the idea is the same. We will create the virtual host in a proper place, and we have this index.php in the public folder, and we just make the document root to be the public folder, and that's it. Our framework will work on a virtual host as well. That's it, guys. So we have successfully created our MVC framework. I hope you enjoyed it. Definitely let me know in the comment section what you think. Just hit the like button if you like, share this video, which will help me a lot to just grow the channel and do more videos. Also, let me know in the comment section what you want to see next. Okay, And that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it and see you in the next time.